Hello and welcome to our video, How to Become a Best-Selling Author Using KDP Without Breaking a Sweat. In this video, we'll talk about some of the more important things that you need to know how to do in order to have a successful book launch and get your book on the bestseller list on Amazon. In a moment, we'll also cover one of the most important things that you need to do in order to become a bestseller and show you an easy way to do that.
Indeed. So, before we get started with all that, the first question has to be, how hard is it to be a bestseller on Amazon, right? And the truth is, with the right amount of concerted effort, it's really not that hard, okay? So what does it mean? Like, what is the definition of being a bestseller on Amazon? Now, some people will tell you, and sort of the belief is that to be a bestseller on Amazon means that you're in the top 100 of a particular category, okay? At Deep Dive Publishers, we're like, if you're not in the top 10 in a category, we're just not even going to call you a bestseller. But like, technically speaking, if you go to Amazon, you look at a page, you look for a book, and down at the bottom, it's got, you know, what are they doing in different categories? Typically, those categories start showing up at the bottom of their promo page when they're within the top 100 inside a category. So that's really what you're trying to do. And the thing is, to get on that list, to get in the top 10 or the top 100 or whatever, you have to sell the most books inside an hour window, okay? So that means that in order to achieve bestseller status on Amazon in a category and call yourself a best-selling author on Amazon, then you have to put together some pretty cool stuff, like a good plan, and it has to be well executed, right? So it has to be, you have to do a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
I stole your slide.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Just keep going.
Okay. So what should be in your plan? Okay. So if what we have to do to accomplish bestseller status in a category on Amazon is get as many people as possible to buy the book in a really short period of time, that means a whole lot of things have to happen all at once, okay? And there's a whole laundry list of things that are done when a person launches a book. I've written down a few here. So one of them is, you know, blitzing social media. So on whatever platforms you're on and whatever your friends are on, you know, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, here and there and everywhere, right? Do some TikToks or whatever. You want to be talking about it. You want to be having graphics up. You want to be saying, go now, here, you know, it's launching now. And we'll talk about some incentives in a few minutes about that.
Yeah. But something to keep in mind about the social media and just the author platform in general, you will always hear people saying, you need to be on as many places as possible. Be on every single one of them. Post content all the time. Ideally, yes, that's what you would be doing. But from a practical perspective, you're not going to do that. And if you do, it's probably not very good. And also, you're just sweating.
You would be sweating, right? You would be sweating.
Wasting all of your time posting on social media. So,
right.
Pick
a lane.
Pick, 1, 2, maybe 3 if you're like already proficient with a platform, and just focus on those.
Right.
Get good at those. Maybe later on think about doing other stuff.
And that's why I mentioned get your friends to post on these other platforms, right? So the next one is to have launch partners, and that's what I'm talking about with your friends. You actually put together a team, a whole group of people willing to help you launch. That means email their mailing lists and also post on social media. And ideally, those people are people with really big lists or really big followers on social media. So, you know, when you join author communities or there's a lot of ways to try to meet people, but you want as many people as possible sending information to their list at the same time on social and an email, all on the same day, all at the same time. That's the ideal thing. Okay. Yep. Another one is promotion sites. We mentioned this kind of a lot in another video.
Yeah,
we talk about that a lot.
Yeah, we've mentioned it before. And it's kind of a similar idea to having launch partners, but with a promotion site, you go to them and often pay them a bit of money, or even a fair bit of money, and they will send out to their list that is specifically tailored to your specific category. So that can be really a massive boost in early sales and even later on, because it's your target audience has already been catered by these other people. All you have to do is give them a bit of money, and then they just push out whatever email that you've set up, hopefully well, that then gets them
your
to
little
your end.
ad. They're sending out your little ad, right? And so the next one is actually running ads on social media, on Amazon itself. As we mentioned in another video, you want to work with experts to do that. Like, you don't want to just like fly by the seat of your pants, because it can get really pricey really fast.
Yeah, Amazon is a little bit nicer about that. They want to make sure that your ad is working before they start siphoning your money away, but social media platforms, they'll just happily take your money without, even if it's not successful at all.
Right. Even if you get no conversion, that means no one buys from the ad. They will just keep running the ad and keep running the ad and keep running the ad. And so, like we said, work with professionals or get some training, because that one, unless you have tons of money and you just like playing around, right?
If you have a lot of money to throw away, then go for it. But otherwise.
Here's the other thing. When you're promoting the book in the beginning, why would people buy as soon as you announce it? Some people, what is that statistic? It takes 8 times seeing a product or a program before people would notice, and then they're like, oh, I should buy this, Well, with a book launch, you don't really have that opportunity unless you've been peppering things along on social media or sending out stuff to your email list saying, the book's going to launch, the book's going to launch, the book's coming out soon, be on the lookout. You can do that sort of thing. You don't want to inundate them. You don't want to make them run away and hide, but you do want to let them know ahead of time. But on the day, there has to be some sort of incentive. So something we often do is a gift giveaway, where different people that are part of the launch team offer a free digital gift, so that people who purchase right now on Amazon then come back and fill out a little form, and then they get a bunch of free digital gifts as an incentive to buy it now. There's like a whole bonus package. Right.
Some of the bigger self-published authors will do a similar different thing, where it's like you have a chance to win a whole collection of like 5 to 10 other books from other big authors. That's a whole different thing. There's a process to it.
There's a different thing, and there's also rules.
Yes, there's legal considerations with that one, but that's also an option.
Right.
So look into that from where you are,
right,
what you're doing. That can be a little bit more, they can be stingy about you can or cannot do that.
Right, but the thing is, too, I don't know if there's some really make sure you're following Amazon rules. Because if you're trying to hit a bestseller list on Amazon, you do not want to get banned from Amazon, which can happen. Like, you can get banned, you can get delisted, there's all kinds of things, so make sure you're following the rules. Yeah. And I think sometimes with these giveaway of books, they're actually trying to grow their email list rather than as part of a book launch. I could be wrong about that. But again, follow the rules. But you want to have this incentive, right? You want to have this incentive. Another way to have incentive is discount the price. Discount the price altogether. Make it 99 cents. Make it $2.99 if you have images in there, and they won't let you make it 99 cents. But just like discount it and just say, during the launch, this is the price for the book. And so you're announcing that in the emails that you're sending out. You're announcing that on social media. You're having your launch team do the same thing. Yeah. And the other really big tip around this is only publish it in ebook form. Okay. What a lot of authors do, they want a copy in their hands. They want that printed copy. And they also want, ebooks because they're 99 cents, and it's easier to sell more, and it's easier for people to read them right away and then leave a review. But when you are selling a book in print and you're selling an ebook and you're sending out these messages, then those two books, because they're going to be in totally different categories. Printed books have completely different categories than ebooks. You're actually competing against yourself to try to get the bestseller list. So just pick one,
And I had initially a little bit of resistance to the 99 cent and to the ebook only idea that is pretty prevalent in the self-publishing space for those exact reasons that we've mentioned. It's just kind of how it works.
Yeah.
You might just, it might not sit well, but just try to think about it from the logical perspective. You want to hit the bestseller list. More people are likely to buy it if it is 99 cents. That's just a fact. People are more inclined to spend less money on something if they have the option.
Right.
And then from the ebook perspective, exactly as we stated, you're competing with yourself.
Right.
And having a $5 paperback is going to be way less likely because it's an either or, pick one or the other, and the ebook is way easier to sell. Exactly.
And the other thing is, you know, you can do both. It's a lot harder. With my last book, we published both. And because, I had a co-author and he really wanted a printed book. And so we published both and it was tough. It was really, really tough. We did hit the bestseller list. We got in the top 10 in several categories, but we never hit number 1. You know, if you're more likely to hit number 1 in a category if you're only publishing an ebook at first.
Yes, at first.
Right.
Once the launch is over, you can go with paperback, hardback, whatever else you want. But on the initial launch, you want to go ebook only.
So something else I want to say right here that just popped in my head to share with you is there's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of very well-known, people. I greatly respect their information when it comes to books and publishing and marketing. And they actually don't recommend going after the bestseller. They don't actually recommend doing a launch campaign and like for long-term sales. They believe that it can actually harm what's happening with your book overall. So that's also something to consider. You know, we're not saying to do it or not do it. I tend to do it, okay? But that doesn't mean it's the only way. And some people have a much longer term strategy. Now, my books still sell, you know, they're still selling 10 years later. But it takes effort. It takes concerted, continuous, giving it some more love every now and then with another promotion, another, campaign, another something. And so just so you know, not everyone is going after the bestseller list, and it may not be for you either.
It's not necessary to make sales.
Right.
Now, to fulfill the title of the video, we want to give you some tips on keeping you from sweating while using KDP.
Right.
Turn on the AC if you have AC. Get a fan if you have a fan.
Right.
Throw on some shorts if it's the summertime. If it's winter, you might want to go outside and work on KDP because it's probably colder than inside your house.
Anyway, we just thought it'd be fun to throw that in there so that, because some of this stuff is far too serious. Mm-hmm. Some of this is far too serious. But as promised, we were talking about the way to do it that's less stressful and less, sweat-worthy. Mm-hmm. And that is, if you choose the right categories, it will make or break your bestseller status. It just will. And so if you choose a category on Amazon that has less competition, you want it to be right for your book. You don't want to be, writing a memoir and putting it in some science fiction subgenre, like that doesn't work. It has to be associated with your book. It has to make sense for your book, but you're hunting the categories with the least amount of competition.
With the most amount of searches.
Yes. But you want to just get in there so you can make a few sales all at once on the same, on the day. And when you find these special categories, that's how you hit multiple categories with a bestseller campaign.
With the right categories, you could hit number 1 with 10 sales.
Right, in certain categories. Now, that's fairly rare.
The very niche ones that you're probably, nobody's going to find it because you only made 10 sales, but you did hit number 1 technically.
Right. So. But on the flip side, you can go look for these categories, and you could write a book for that. That's the other way. If you're looking for ideas on a book, go find a category where there's searches, but there's no competition.
Or little.
And literally you could become a bestseller because, and you might make some decent sales because people are searching. Anyway. All right.
Yeah. Publisher Rocket is a product that helps you choose those categories very easily, and it points out what things are being searched. If you want to go the hard way and start sweating, you can manually go into Amazon and find most of the information that Publisher Rocket provides by yourself. It's not necessary, but it is a lot easier to use Publisher Rocket to do those things.
Well, here's the other thing. There's certain bits of information in Publisher Rocket that I don't know how to find myself. Like, I don't know how many people are searching this every month or every day, or like the search numbers that they talk about, and how many it takes in a certain category to reach number 1 or reach number 10. Like, I don't have that information. Like, even if I'm digging, I can see what other books and other authors are making as their categories. You know, you can look at best-selling books and go on those pages and look at the bottom and see what the categories are. But I have no idea the level of competition in those categories without this particular tool.
Right. And if you go down to the link below, we have a 10-part series which goes way into more depth on the publishing process, and we also provide, through that link, access to Publisher Rocket, and if you purchase it with that link in particular, you also get access to our exclusive bonuses, which are our 10-part publishing guide, which takes you through the entire process of publishing your book, as well as our 21-page, I believe, PDF, which is our deep dive writing guide, which will teach you how to write better prose. You can do it for books, you can do it for just blog posts, anything. It's there to make you a better writer.
Indeed.
If you liked the video, go ahead and leave a like. If you have any comments or questions, go ahead and leave one down below. And go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you like our content in general.
Until next time.
Until next time.